All right, welcome to the program once again. It's Talk Sports on Global Television, and it's been an exciting weekend. Plenty of actions at the 34th edition of the African Cup of Nations holding in Côte d'Ivoire. And yes, Nigeria did the unthinkable when we beat the host country, talking about the Elephants of Côte d'Ivoire. We beat them 1-0, courtesy of William Trust Ekong's penalty goal, giving the Super Eagles all needed 3 points and giving us 4 points as a total to get joint top at the top of the Group A with Equatorial Guinea. Today is going to be massive for the Super Eagles of Nigeria, talking about 3 times African champions, the Super Eagles of Nigeria, as they face the wild dogs of Guinea-Bissau in today's cracker. It's going to be a very amazing one. Today is going to mark Nigeria's 100th game at the African Cup of Nations, and it means a lot for the Super Eagles. First of all, we're called the Red Devils, and later we became the Green Eagles of Nigeria. Now we are the Super Eagles of Nigeria. So today we're going to be playing our 100th game at the African Cup of Nations, which we started playing from 1963 when the African Cup of Nations started. And we're 3 times African champions. Don't forget, we won that in 1980, we won it in 1994, and we won it last in 2013 when the big boss, Christian, talking about Stephen Keshi, led the Super Eagles to victory. And so we're looking to see if Jose Pizarro will be able to give us our 4th African title in Côte d'Ivoire. And it's going to start tonight when we face the Wild Dogs of Guinea-Bissau in a very epic encounter, talking about Nigeria's 20th appearance at the African Cup of Nations, and it's going to be our 100th game in the series. Remember that Victor Ikpeba scored Nigeria's 70th goal when he netted the third in Nigeria's 4-2 defeat of Tunisia in Lagos on 23rd of January 2000, and the 22nd finals that Nigeria co-hosted with Ghana. It is another 70 goals after, and the opportunity beckons on another victor, this time Victor Osimhen, to score Nigeria's 140th goal by netting against the Wild Dogs of Guinea-Bissau. Like Victor Osimhen, Victor Ikpeba was also an African Player of the Year in 1997. This time around in 2024, Victor Osimhen is the African player. The Napoli forward really needs to add to his tally of just 1 goal in the African Cup of Nations, having played only a cameo role in the Odiona Igalo dominated 2019 finals in Egypt and missing the 2021 finals in Cameroon due to injury. Igalo himself scored the country's 130th goal when he netted against Tunisia in their 1-0 win for the 3rd place in 2019. He was also top scorer in the 2019 finals with 5 goals. Of the current squad, Captain Ahmed Musa scored Nigeria's 120th goal of the competition when he poked in Nigeria's 4th in their 4-1 defeat of Mali in 2013 semi-finals in Durban. A total of 6 Nigerian players are in the Hall of Fame for the top scorers of African Cup of Nations, with only the goals father, yes, only the goals father, talking about Rashidi Yakini of blessed memory in double figures category. He netted 13 goals in 4 straight Nations Cup from 1988 to 1994, emerging top scorer in 1992 and 1994. Can Victor Osimhen, the man on your screen, can he replicate that feat is what we're asking this morning. Then also, just to let you know that playmaker Jeje Okocha scored the 7 goals in AFCON, including emerging top scorer at the 2004 finals in Tunisia, where he scored 4 goals. So we're looking at all this history to be made this evening when Nigeria takes on the Wild Dogs of Guinea-Bissau. All right, so we're hoping that the Super Eagles will be in action Already we saw some great matches that went down. Algeria taking on Mali. It was a very great encounter. Taking on Burkina Faso, I beg your pardon, it ended 2-2. It was a very, very interesting matchup. But today we're focusing on Nigeria taking on Guinea-Bissau. The Super Eagles versus the Wild Dogs of Guinea-Bissau. Who's going to win that encounter is left to be seen. But one thing is for sure, Nigeria has got more pedigree than Guinea-Bissau, so time will only tell how this encounter is going to play out today in today's encounter. Hopefully, I'll be joined by my guest who will be joining me in the studio. His name Coach Charles Ohaji, who just returned from Canada from a training course in Canada on talking about coaching courses just to get certified by CAF, and hopefully he'll be joining me some minutes into the program where we look at specifically the Super Eagles out in their last match against Cote d'Ivoire, how well they did, and what we should be expecting from the Super Eagles today. With Victor Osimhen be on rampage, will he be able to get his hat-trick and add to his tally? Would we see changes for the Super Eagles, or are we going to see a shocker where Guinea-Bissau might just run Nigeria over? Those are some of the key things we'll be looking at on today's edition. We'll go for a very quick break. When we return from the break, we'll be taking up other stories on the international scene. All right, while we're still waiting for Coach Chris Onogbeku, who is in Cote d'Ivoire, to join us live from Cote d'Ivoire so that we can get a taste of how the Super Eagles are getting set for today's cracker, and also looking at other matches that were played over the weekend. Just to give you some update as regards the special one, Jose Mourinho, who was last week sacked by AS Roma, and news just reaching us tells us he just landed in Spain amidst a rumor that he might just be taking over from Xavi as coach of Barcelona. So we'll be keeping our fingers crossed to see how true that story is going to be. Would Jose Mourinho take over Barcelona as their new coach is something we'll be looking at. Jose Mourinho has been successful in the different leagues here, teams he has coached in the different leagues, but of late, it hasn't been smooth running for Jose Mourinho, but the big question around Jose Mourinho is he might just be taking charge of Barcelona, and if that's not the case, there's also a big talk about him likely going to Saudi Arabia for the big monies from the teams in Saudi Arabia. So keep fingers crossed that you might just see the special Jose Mourinho become the next coach of Barcelona, or he might just be heading to Saudi Arabia to become a coach of one of those oil-rich clubs. That is one of the big stories we're looking at this one. Yes, that's the man there, Jose Mourinho, who just arrived at the airport in Barcelona. However, journalist Pedro Morata noted that he ruled out a move to Pro League side Al Shabab, instead favoring a challenge that would motivate him. A return to a European club would certainly fit the bill, and Mourinho was quizzed by reporters at the airport in Barcelona about the potential for him to take over at the Catalan club. Despite storming to the 27th league title amid financial problems last season, Xavi wants unquestionable security as manager has appeared increasingly in the past few weeks, and so would Jose Mourinho take over his job is the big question we're asking. Only the Catalan club can tell us how well that's going to be if Jose Mourinho. Then we're talking about Salah. There's a big story about Mohamed Salah, if he'll be heading back to Liverpool because he got injured in Egypt's match during the African Cup of Nations, but let's see if that's going to be the case, if Salah would be moving back to Liverpool to get some treatment as regards his hamstring injury, which he suffered in the match against the Black Stars of Ghana. All right, while we're still waiting for the Coach Chris Onogbeku to join us via Zoom, we'll be giving you some other stories. There's still some stories as regards transfer news as per Newcastle captain in the person of Trippier, Kieran Trippier, who is likely to join Bayern Munich. That's one of the big stories in the January transfer window of Kieran Trippier likely to join Bayern Munich. So, but though they have denied that story, but it's still resurfacing that Bayern are interested in Newcastle's captain. All right, looking at another transfer news, we know that last week it was Jordan Henderson, former Liverpool captain, who moved there from his club in Saudi Arabia to join Ajax in Holland. That's one of the new big stories they're talking about. Jordan Henderson moving from his club side Al Ettifaq. Yes, Al Ettifaq moving from Al Ettifaq in Saudi Arabia to join Ajax in Holland. So let's see how that transfer is going to go. How well is he going to do in the Dutch league is another interesting question we're going to be trying to answer, hopefully. Well, let's see if Coach Onogbeku, if he has joined us via Zoom, so that we can get to take as regards what is playing out in Cote d'Ivoire. Hello, Chris. All right, I think the coach is still hasn't joined us yet, so let's see how. Let's go for a very quick break again. When we return from a break, hopefully my guest will be in the studio with me, and Coach Chris Onogbeku would have joined us via Zoom, so we can look at happenings in Cote d'Ivoire already. Just to give you a quick news that Barcelona did beat Real Betis over the weekend 4-2. Ferran Torres has scored a hat-trick trying to reduce the pressure on Xavi as a coach. All right, let's go for a quick break. When we return from the break, the program continues. Stay with us. All right, we're still talking sports and still hoping that the network will help us out so that we can join our guest via Zoom. And we're also expecting Coach Charles Ohaji to join us in the live studios. And we hope to get some good messages across coming from Cote d'Ivoire as regards the preparations of the Super Eagles ahead of tonight's match in Cote d'Ivoire, where they'll be facing the Wild Dogs of Guinea-Bissau, who are in the same group with the Super Eagles. Currently, the Super Eagles and the Equatorial Guinea are locked in with 4 points. Today is the last group match for Group A to see who tops the group. Is it going to be Nigeria, Equatorial Guinea, or probably Guinea-Bissau, who will be facing the Super Eagles this evening to see. All right, I think we've got Coach Onogbeku now. In this. Good morning, Coach. Nice to have you join us.
Good morning, Tony. How is Nigeria?
Nigeria is doing great. How is Cote d'Ivoire?
Well, we are doing good. It's just that our money is getting finished. The exchange rate here is very high.
It's very high. Okay.
Compared to Nigeria.
All right. Let's just go quick into action. How ready are the Super Eagles ahead of tonight's encounter? How's the mood in the camp?
Well, the team is actually very ready. You know, the match against Cote d'Ivoire was a moral booster for them. After winning that match, everybody is happy. all the Nigerians, even though we couldn't celebrate. We couldn't celebrate here in Cote d'Ivoire because of where some of us were afraid that we would be attacked. So we're being careful, especially in Nigeria said, the celebration was very at a low key. But the most important thing is that we won. So the mood in the Super Eagles, of course, everybody is confident that we are going to qualify by at least with a draw we can go through. If we can get a draw against Guinea-Bissau. But according to the coach, he wants to top the table. And what it means is that he's going to win today's match. Tony, are you there? Tony, are you there?
Yes, I can hear you.
Just like I said, the coach he said he wants to top the table. That is his priority. So what it means is that he wants to win today's match. No, nothing like draw. So, but the challenge is that some of our players are injured, but the players on the bench are equally good. Our first 11 is as good as the bench also, so there's nothing to fear about.
All right. In terms of the support, the Supporters Club of Nigeria, how massive is the support Super Eagles are getting in Cote d'Ivoire?
I don't think they have an issue of support here. Just yesterday, the Ejigbo community in Cote d'Ivoire, they hosted some of us to a small party. And this morning also, as soon as I finish this sport, I'm on my way to that community. They actually have so many Nigerians here, and it may be interesting to note that I schooled in Ejigbo, Baptist High School in Osun State. And when we were in secondary school, then I used to hear about Abidjan, that they are going to Abidjan. And today I'm in Abidjan, and I'm about to meet some of them, some of my classmates in Abidjan. So when it comes to the area of support, I don't think Super Eagles will lack that in Abuja, yes. In Abidjan, yeah, because we have so many Nigerians that are staying here. And you know they are also very close to Lagos. So I don't think they will have issue of support here.
But as regards Victor Osimhen, a lot of people are worried that he has scored just one goal. How much do we know about the Wild Dogs of Guinea-Bissau, and what are the chances of the Super Eagles winning today's game? We have seen
we have played Guinea-Bissau on several occasions, even though I can't remember the outcomes right now. But for Osimhen, nobody should be afraid. What is more paramount is that we are winning. We should not be bothered about whether one individual is scoring goal or not. What is important, even if a goalkeeper is the one scoring goal, it doesn't really matter. What matters is that we are winning our matches. So if you are going there today, and the goalkeeper that will score today's match, I think it's okay. Even the match after today's own, as the most important is that we are moving. So it's a team game. It's not an individual game. So if Osimhen managed to score one goal, it doesn't really matter to us here. What matters is that we should get to the final. Everybody is predicting that we shall get to the final, and if possible, leave the trophy because of the 2013. The same thing that happened. We defeated Cote d'Ivoire. We were en route to the final. So that is what everybody is looking up to. So we are not bothered about whether Osimhen is scoring or not. He's not the only player in the team. But if he scores, good and fine. But if he doesn't, it doesn't really matter.
You happened against Cote d'Ivoire. We finally got a goalkeeper we dream of, a goalkeeper that was confident, a goalkeeper that reminded us of Vincent Eyema, a goalkeeper that was confident, who wouldn't allow everybody that gets to the goalpost enter into the net. Nwabali, is he the Messiah we'll be waiting for?
Well, it is too early for us to start to judge. And you must give it to Zoe anyway, whether you will like it or not. He has done his best. Maybe his best was not good for the country, but he has done his own, and good enough we have discovered another one. I've been saying this for a very long time, that we need competition in the Super Eagles. And good enough, we have somebody like Nabili that gave Uzo serious competition. And that is what we need in every department in the Super Eagles. By the time you have that, once you have opportunity of playing for the Super Eagles and you don't play well, you are very sure of losing that shirt. That is how it should be. That was what we used to have in the past. So discovering Nabili was a very good one. And I want to urge the coach not to relent. Let him not let him not relax. Let him continue to search for more goalkeepers. We want a situation whereby the 3 goalkeepers should be as good as the first. The other 2 goalkeepers should be as good as the first one. So that is what we are clamoring for. I think it's a good one. I'm very sure if Uzo is given another opportunity to man the post, I believe he will do well. But let's not jump into conclusion that this guy is far better than Vicente Yama, because we know what Vicente Yama did while he was Super Eagles goalkeeper.
All right, I have a surprise for you. Just like Bali was a surprise to Nigerians, we don't want to see Uzoho from my own perspective. But I've got a surprise for you in the studio. I just had to import this man from Canada. We've got a coach, Charles Ohaji, in the studio with me. And so, Charles, you can talk to your best friend.
Run away, coach. Run away.
Coach.
You ran away. Okay. How is everything?
Coach, fine, coach. Happy New Year, my coach.
Oh, great. I can see from here you are looking good.
All right.
Thank you, Coach.
Coach, let's get your take as we got some matches we saw over the weekend. We saw Algeria, Burkina Faso. We saw Egypt, Ghana. We saw South Africa, Mali beating South Africa. We saw Chipolopolo in action also. Have you seen any team that's going to give the Super Eagles a run for their money?
I actually threw the same question to some of the Nigerians here to know whether after the Cote d'Ivoire match, if any of them can stop Super Eagles. They were just trying to play around that we are still in the group stage. But for me, I think Senegal seems to be doing very well. Senegal and Mali. Then Egypt, they are struggling without Salah. So I think the best thing for now is Senegal. But it is too early for us to start saying this team will stop the Super Eagles or not. It is too early. Let's just leave it, because if you start, that was what happened in the last Nations Cup, where we started rating the Super Eagles ahead of others. And before you know what was happening, pride set in, and